My name is Caitlin Purrington. I'm a program naturalist here at Inside the Outdoors. We're at a school program today teaching our program Rockin Geology. Today the students will be learning about rocks and how they're formed. After the introduction, they will get a chance to see how these rocks are made and do various different experiments at stations throughout the day. Station number 1 is what we call the rock hound station. In this station, the students are going to get a box with different rocks in them, and then they're going to categorize them based off of igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary. Station number 2, they're going to learn more about sedimentary rocks. It's about the rock layers. So they get a jar, and then at the bottom of the jar there's various different sizes of rocks, anywhere from a small pebble to a piece of sand. As they flip the jar over, it contains water in it, and they see how the rocks can settle. Station number 3 is all about the history of Mount St. Helens, how something as big as a volcanic eruption can displace the rocks in an area. Number 4 is how different changes in the earth can affect the rock cycle. So it basically deals with weathering and erosion, how there can be slow and fast changes. Number 5 is about streams and how streams are formed, how when water can erode a landscape and turn it in what was once just a pile of rain, how it can turn into a stream and then eventually a river. Number 6 brings it a little bit closer to home. It's all about California geology. Most students don't know much about California geology and how we still have vast landscapes of mountains and volcanoes that are still here today. Number 7 is the hardness test. The hardness test is a real test that geologists use in their practices. Basically, they have 2 different types of minerals, and they're going to scratch both of them with their fingernails. Different minerals can be hard or soft. The softer mineral will leave a mark, and that's one way they can tell 2 minerals that look similar apart. Number 8 is another test that geologists use in the field. It's what's called the streak test. It's another way to determine 2 minerals apart from one another. Basically, they take one mineral and they scratch it along a tile, and if it leaves a mark, the color of the mark left will tell them what mineral it is. In number 9, students will be observing what happens when certain rocks are placed under a black light. Various minerals in rocks will glow underneath the black light, while some will not. That's another way that geologists are able to tell the difference. At station number 10, they're going to be observing dirt in jars. They use a magnet to then rub over the jars and to see which of those minerals are magnetic. At station number 11, students will learn about minerals and how they're used in everyday products. Things like toothpaste, chalk, even the graphite at the end of their pencils all come from rocks. I think it's important for students to learn about geology because it's all around them. In California, we're very lucky because we have such different geology. We can go from the sands at the beaches all the way up to the mountains. And when that happens, it really connects what's happening. We want students to not just look at those individually, but to understand the bigger picture of how we get from a mountain all the way down to the beaches, especially here in California.
What I did was I learned about a bunch of different rocks and how the rock life cycle works.
We learned about rocks, erosions, eruptions.
We learned about geology in a cool and a fun way.
Some of the minerals in the dirt were like magnetic, and I actually didn't really know that.
I learned that there's this rock that looks like gold, but it really isn't gold.
My favorite station was probably number 9 because you got to see which rocks glow and then which ones don't.
It made me feel amazing. I was just nervous at first, but now it's really fun.
The traveling scientist was really nice, and I like the activities that she made for us.
I think it's important for kids to learn about geology because if you want to be something like that, it would be good to start learning earlier in life, and it's also really fun.
It's good for you to learn about geology because if you find a piece of pyrite and you think it's gold, well then you'll just get fooled.